Hello and welcome to episode number 51 of the WP Café show with me, Keith Devon.
And with me, Mark Wilkinson. Hello, everyone. We've had a bit of a break over here at WP Café headquarters. So I think, is it 2 weeks we've missed over the Easter holidays. I was away for one of those weeks, and the other week was kind of busy week, catching up with things that happened in the previous week. So we didn't really get a chance to launch an episode. So we're back anyway.
It's all right to take a little break now and then, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope so.
Hopefully we'll be forgiven for that. But yeah, it's nice to be back.
It is. Hopefully everyone is still with us. If you are watching along on YouTube live, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know who you are, where you are, and if you've got any questions for us, then now is your chance to put them towards us. We'll probably do a section somewhere where we answer some questions. So, how has your week been this week, Keith?
Chaotic. I'm just sending a tweet saying we're live. Yeah, it's my life is just mental at the minute. So maybe just because of the house build and stuff. So yeah, lots of stress outside of work. Work-wise, it's been kind of quiet in quite a nice way. So we've had lots of little supporty type, maintenancey type things to do recently. Yeah. But the main excitement, I guess, is what we're going to talk about today. And that is our new, I don't even know whether to call it a product. It really is a productized service, isn't it? I would say.
Yeah, I suppose so.
There's more service to it than product, because actually the products that we're using aren't all ours. So
yeah, it's a product that enhances other products, I suppose you could say, isn't it? So
yeah,
there you go.
But how are you anyway? Before we jump into the details, any news from you?
I am well. I have had an interesting week, spending a morning in urgent care because I knackered my ankle playing football, which is actually fine now, which is it's remarkable.
Like literally fine, like 48 hours later or less than 48 hours later.
It's not literally fine. I can feel it. It's got bruises all around it. It's still a little bit swollen, but I can stand on it and walk. It doesn't really affect anything I'm doing at the moment. Yeah. But from Wednesday morning at like 4 a.m, getting up and going to the toilet and being in absolute agony and couldn't even walk on it and crawled on the floor to now, it's remarkable how quick it's turned around. Anyway, so there you go. That was my week and getting back to recovery. I think my footballing days have ended now at my age. I think I've got to accept that I'm not 21 anymore, and that every time someone tackles me, my body's like glass and it just breaks.
Yeah, I've been going through the same stuff. My body is not what it used to be. So yeah. Having to give up things and give up my dream of being a professional sportsman. So yeah. There you go.
Stick running around the block and playing a bit of golf.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right then, so our topic today, our main topic we thought we'd chat through about is our new product that we've got. And so go on then, Keith. You tell people what it is, and then I'll cover about why it is.
Well, I was thinking we'd maybe start with the backstory and kind of how it came about, maybe. Okay. And then we can get into maybe what it is. So you, as a regular listener, will probably know of our job relay product, which essentially takes job data from job posting services. So where recruitment agencies write jobs and manage their applications, and they want to send those jobs out to multiple job boards. We let WordPress be one of those jobs, like their WordPress site be one of those job boards effectively, so they can post the job to their website while they're posting it to Monster and Indeed and CV Library and etc. So that's what Job Relay does, and that is, over the last 3 years, gradually, we've ramped that up, more and more customers. It's going really well. But one of the things that kept happening, a number of things actually that kind of led to the new product. One would be when you're on a sales call, Mark, for Job Relay, one of your questions is, what job board are you using on the WordPress website? Because Job Relay is just about the transfer of data. It's not about the display of jobs.
So essentially, Job Relay will push a job into their existing solution in WordPress for displaying jobs.
Yeah.
Usually, people will have some form of job board plugin installed. WP Job Manager. There's hundreds of them, but they have something installed. Exactly. Some just have a custom post type, and you integrate it with that. But that's the kind of thing. So that's my question usually on the sales call.
Yeah, so you would ask that, and sometimes people would say, "Yeah, we're using WP Job Manager. That's already set up and everything." Sometimes they'd be like, "What?" They don't have a job board. They don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes they do have a job board that they're not happy with.
And sometimes they'll say, "Oh, I thought Job Relay did that."
Exactly. So all these scenarios lead to this next whole set of kind of questions and advice, and like, okay, well, you're going to need one. You can go and download WP Job Manager and do it yourself, or you can ask your developer to do something. Come back to us when you know what it is. Blah blah blah. And then also once we have Job Relay hooked up for a client, we're suddenly strangely on the hook for everything that happens on that job board. So we never built the job board, but anytime something goes wrong with it or they want to change something about it, we'd be the people that they would come to. So and they'd be like, "Can you help us do this?" It's like, well, we technically can. We know how to, but can you talk to your web developer or blah blah blah? And quite often it comes back to the web developer doesn't really know what they're doing or whatever. Yeah. So this kind of kept like just hammering away at us every time this happened, and to the point where we thought, well, we know how to build job boards. Is there a way that we can provide that service to provide really decent job boards for people? Like, so we know, for example, we use WP Job Manager because it's good. It's really extensible. We're familiar with it. We have other plugins around it, which you can talk about a bit more in a minute, that kind of complement that and enhance the job board. We've got custom functionality in plugins of our own that kind of enhance the job board. And now we've also created a system where we can kind of style all that stuff up quite easily. So what we have now is a kind of curated group of plugins plus our expertise plus ongoing maintenance and support, all packaged up in an affordable monthly fee. So that's kind of where we're at, or where it came from, and it seems to have solved a bit of a problem in the marketplace. So quite often now, you've been having those Job Relay sales calls, and I would say nearly, 50% of those, 30% of those end up also interested at least in the job board side of things.
Well, we had before we'd launched it or thought about it, we had a few calls, didn't we? And we thought, well, we'll just pitch it, even though we haven't built it. We'll just pitch it to these people if they don't have a job board. And I think we sold like 3 before we'd even got anywhere.
We had
launching this thing off the ground essentially. So that kind of backed up that it was a decent idea and people were interested in it. And we then obviously built those 3, which is great because we've now got some case studies. So when we're on the next sales call and they say, "Oh, have you got an example?" Well, actually, yes, we have got some examples. Here you go. You can see it in action. So that's really good and really helps to provide, real world examples of what you mean to customers and why it's such a good thing. So yeah, going really well. And where are we up to in the product? Well, I've kind of finished my bit, I think, in terms of like the PHP backendy stuff. And we've just got to get the sort of front end styles working now. And that's your job.
Well, they are working, but obviously we've renamed it, so we're going to change all the kind of namespaces, aren't we, for all the custom properties and classes and everything.
Because originally, what we thought of doing was to create a Job Relay Plus, and people would purchase Job Relay Plus, which also came with this job board and managed job board. But actually, what we decided to do was to separate the 2 out. So actually, you could use this new job board product even if you weren't a Job Relay customer. That may be something we do in the future. We market it to non-Job Relay customers, and because it can provide value to those people. So we had originally built it with like Job Relay branding and Job Relay namespaces and stuff like that. So I've been sort of like redoing all the functions and things and various things to name them as the new product, which I think we can tell people what it's called, can't we?
Oh, you're going to go that far? Yeah, okay, go for it.
Yeah, keep it a secret if you like.
I don't know why we would.
So we've called it WordPress.
How original!
WordPress, I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And so we've got the website, we've got the domain, WordPress.com. Everyone hits it now; it goes down because it's on a small server.
Yeah, please don't actually visit it. I haven't actually built.
There's nothing on there at the moment. No. So the website, well, I say nothing on it. The website is functional in terms of buying it because it's nearly ready to be purchased. And then once we've done that, we'll actually start getting like a homepage up there and marketing. But really, at the moment, our only sales of this is through Job Relay or the product. So it's not something that someone's going to find and want to learn about. We're going to have told the client all about it on a call, and they're going to have known all about it. So it's literally just going to go there to purchase it and set up a subscription. So that's that. So yeah, lots to do, but it is exciting. I love building products and solving solutions. That's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, isn't it? It's fun whenever you kind of hit that nerve, like you come up with that idea, and then instantly you get that validation from the market that idea is a good one. And we're in a fortunate position because of Job Relay that we could test it so early, and we got such good feedback early on. Whereas with some of our other ideas, we put a lot of effort into them, tried to get them into the market, and then there was just tumbleweed. It's like, what? So this has been satisfying compared to some previous ideas and launches we've had. But
I think we're still not settled on the price yet.
No.
So we've been pitching it at a price which we actually think is quite low. But I think we're working on the fact that if we can get people using it and we can learn from those people that are using it, and then we can make the product better, that price can probably get increased over time, I think.
Yeah. Or we might have like tiered pricing or something for this. I could definitely imagine like some kind of advanced features that we put in a pro version.
Well, we've already chatted this morning, haven't we, about a hosted version of something that perhaps could be used. So
I think we've already got an idea for that. So yeah, it's good. It's good. The other reason we decided to separate it from Job Relay is in case we ever want to sell either of these things. I think it's worth kind of mentioning that. That is if these were all Job Relay branded and hooked up to the same Stripe account and the same everything, if we ever just wanted to sell Job Relay to someone who was attracted to that service but wasn't attracted to the job board side of things, then that would make that more difficult. And it was a tricky one, that wasn't it, because we've got this good brand now with Job Relay, and it felt like we should do something off the back of that brand. And we've also got the High Rise Digital brand, so things are already getting a little bit confused because people
it's a little confusing
us for Job Relay, and then we reply from a High Rise Digital email address. They're like, "Who's High Rise Digital?" So
and it also, from a Job Relay customer's perspective, you're like introducing this other brand into the mix that you might want to use which gets a bit confusing. But I think it's the right thing to do. I still think it's the right thing to do. I think it just needs to work out how it's handled.
Yeah.
And we'll get there, I think.
I was wondering, I don't know, just to kind of say hello to people. Hi Ian, hi Tony. Thanks for saying hello in the comments. Please do, if you're watching live on YouTube, please say hello. It's really nice to hear from you. Also, if you've got any questions, we'll have some time towards the end of the show to take any questions, whether it's about what we're doing with WordPress or Job Relay or something completely different to do with WordPress. Please just let us know. I would be really interested to know if anybody knows of a similar type of service within the WordPress ecosystem. So who else is taking a kind of curated group of plugins with potentially some custom functionality and kind of reselling that in a kind of service bundle like we are? I'd be really interested to know if anyone else is doing that in like a different industry or something, because I can't think of it. And I'm pretty sure we're not original. I'm pretty sure someone's done something like this before. It'd be really cool to see some other examples.
Yeah. Definitely. Let us know in the comments.
Ian says, glad you separated the new product from Job Relay. Good. Bit of validation there. Thank you, Ian. I like it. And hi, Paul. Hi, Derek. And hi, Tony. Nice to have you on board. Right. Anything else on that? I think we'll be talking about that in the coming weeks and months, I'm sure, and letting people know how it's going. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Something on that, I think this segues nicely into one of our other topics, potentially both our other topics, is that, so with the front end for this, I'm hoping this causes a bit of controversy. I'm almost certain it will. So I was building the front end for this plugin. So, we're using WP Job Manager. It has its markup. It actually has its own styles that you can enable or disable. We're using other plugins as well. Also have their own styles. We're adding this collection of plugins to sites that we didn't build. So quite often so far, they've been Elementor websites. They've been this, that, and the other. So my challenge as the kind of front end side of the team was how am I going to set this up in a way that makes it really easy to customize for all these different sites, not knowing what kind of WordPress stack they're using, what page builder they're using, what theme they're using, all this kind of stuff. And I really played with this idea. I really played with this idea over and over. And I was like, I'm not going to use important on everything because that's obviously just terrible. Like, I'm way better than that. Turns out I'm not better than that. I have literally stuck important next to every CSS rule. Now, hear me out. It's not as bad as it sounds. So I thought about using things like unset. So you can take a selector in CSS and say unset all, and it just removes all of the CSS rules. Played with that. That didn't work. Played with body classes. That didn't work. So I was like, the only other thing I can think of is like mega specificity. So like these huge long chains of selectors. I mean, and that's not going to work if someone else has used important in their theme, or if Elementor uses important or whatever. So yeah, so I use important, but I wanted it to be customizable because I need to be able, and potentially the website owner, web developer, whatever, might want to be able to customize the styles of that I've written. So I've only used important when it's next to a custom property. And that custom property can be updated really easily. You can do it in the customizer, just open the body element, change the custom property value, and it updates the style because it uses that important. It's very reliable. Like it does it nearly every time accurately. So yeah, important absolutely everywhere throughout my style sheet. But it's all super customizable. I would be really interested to hear if people have a better idea. Because I can't think of one. Someone said custom like HTML elements. So you can like just add your own elements, and I've never done it. So we could have a rec press heading element instead of a heading element, and obviously that won't have any inherent styles. So you could just style that.
It doesn't sound right to me.
It was sounding very clever to me, but it didn't sound quite right. So so there you go. That's what I landed on. It hasn't. The comments haven't blown up, so maybe people agree with me. I don't know.
I think when we started this, because we started off thinking about should we leave minimal styling, and essentially let the theme style the elements that it can style, so like headings and paragraphs and lists and things. And that was kind of the plan to start with, wasn't it? But it just doesn't work.
No,
it just doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't at all, because quite often what I would do is I'd drop it in, and the H2 element wasn't even styled because it's using Elementor, and it requires like an Elementor class alongside that H2. So like there was no global styling on the sites at all. So I would have had to write the whole thing from scratch, and it's just
so we decided just to go down the route of let's just style everything so it looks right. and then we can tweak that on a per site basis when it's wrong, almost, rather than
and
the
it
other way around.
really, really well.
Yeah, we've integrated it with, like I said, 4 or 5 sites now, haven't we? And essentially, it's gone fine. There's not been any massive roadblockers that say, "Oh, like we can't do that." You know, it's been like you've been able to tweak your variables and things, haven't you? And it's worked pretty well.
I mean, I've learned some things. There's been a few properties that are missing that I think I'll add in. You know, I've had to add some CSS outside of the custom variables a couple of times, but I'm going to go back through those and add those into the system. But yeah, it's worked. It's worked really, really well. It feels gross. Feels really, really dirty. But it solves the problem. So I don't know. There you go. Maybe not as controversial as I thought.
What people's problem with important is that it's not overridable, then, is it? I think.
Well, it is. You just have to be more specific, which is the same as everything else anyway. It's
So I don't know. Yeah. I'm not a CSS person, so I'm not sure. But the way you've just described it there, it is overridable quite easily anyway. So it doesn't really matter as much.
Exactly.
So I think we're going to need some documentation on how to do that on the site, because obviously custom variables is probably not that widely used by people. I don't know.
I hope it is these days, but yeah, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right. So, on to the next.
That brings us on to the last topic.
Yeah,
which is who mentioned this to me? It's GitHub Copilot is the topic, and
it was me.
I know you told me. You said, "Oh, you should get this installed, Mark." And I was like, "What is it?" And then it was like, "Oh, you've got to install it in the editor." And I was like, "Oh God, that's going to take me like 3 days." Actually, it didn't. But if you've not used GitHub Copilot, it's basically like AI hooked into your editor. So as you're typing stuff, it is suggesting what you will want, and it's remarkably good.
Yeah.
So just this morning, I was typing out. So basically, the plugin has some settings in a settings page. So I was typing out some helper functions just to grab the settings and output them. You know, so I did one, and then it's basically then learned what I'm doing, and it's like, oh, based on my function name, oh, you'll want this setting that you've registered, and it just outputs exactly the same thing for the new setting. It's like, tab, thank you very much. Next one. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You've just got I don't know, the thing that I had annoyed me for a while is that it comes up with suggestions in grey. So when you start typing, if you stop typing for a second, it'll then bang in a suggestion. And I assumed that you hit enter to sort of like, yeah, that's fine, that's good. But it doesn't. Enter just gets rid of it and gives you a new line. You've got to press tab. And that was my biggest thing about it. Once you learn that you've got to press tab, it kind of it makes it much easier. But it's very clever and it's better than I thought it would be.
So you've used it to, like, you kind of wait for it to suggest stuff and you decide whether to use that suggestion or not. Have you also used it where you like type out some comments and say, this is what I want to do? Yeah. And does that work?
I haven't done that in full, like typing out, you know, I don't know, like a series of comments. But usually if I'm writing a function, for example, or a comment inside a function, I'll write a comment. You know me, I comment everything. So I'll write a comment about what this line of code's going to do. And then when I finish the comment, it's already written the line of code for me. And obviously I check it, and it's, as I said, it's pretty good. It even does things like escaping stuff properly when you're outputting it, rather than just outputting like a value. It knows which function to use. It's very clever. It has saved a lot of time. And the more I use it, I think, the more I will get used to it, and the more it will save time. So you get a month free.
Have you tried to use ChatGPT yet to write any code?
Not really. No, not really. But
that'll be interesting.
I guess this is a similar thing, though, isn't it?
It is, but I keep seeing stories now about people coming up with an idea for something and just getting ChatGPT to do it, like just talking ChatGPT through the process of like writing them all the code. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, kind of scary. Well, for lots of reasons, like putting us out of work and etc. But very, very cool at the same time. Yeah.
If you've not used it, give it a go. It's free for a month, so you can just install it. And look, I managed to get it working in Visual Studio Code, so it must be really, really easy to do. Because trust me, anything that has to run in there or in any of the editors, I can never get working. So it managed to get it working for me. So give it a go. See what you think. Let us know. It's good.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, cool. I wonder what it would be like with front end stuff. Like JavaScript, obviously, it'll be good at. I wonder what it does for CSS, if anything, because it's a different beast. Like, how could it predict what I was about to do in CSS? Interesting. Might give it a go.
Yeah.
Might give it a go.
Give it a go.
I think we should
wrap it up.
Call it a day. Yeah, wrap it up. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Really nice to be back chatting with you. Thanks for the comments. If you did like today's video, we always appreciate a like. If you want more of this kind of thing, we're on nearly every week. And we do occasionally throw in some extra goodies on our YouTube channel. So you can subscribe there to stay up to date with that. You'll get an email as well if you click the notification bell. I think you get an email when a show starts, so you won't miss them. We're also a podcast, so you can get us on your favorite podcast player. Just search for WP Cafe on there, and you'll find us on there. Anything else, Mark?
No, all good. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
See you next time. Bye.